Here we go. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, Bob. Hello, Hadar.
Good morning in the evening. Hello, Rosa, and hello, Bob.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock at night here, so it's where are you
Who, me or Hadar?
to say good morning?
Here, Bob, here is always good morning
Okay,
for
it's
no reason.
the eternal sunshine. Hey,
No, not an eternal sunshine, but it happens that here is always good morning for no reason, really.
For Rosa, it's good morning in the morning, in the evening, at lunch. It's always good morning.
So they make fun of me with this good morning, but I cannot help it. I cannot stop it. It's simply what
No.
happens.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm very happy. Hadar, thank you for this beautiful impulse. Also, greetings to Zonderlientje. Sweetheart, I miss you already.
Hello,
and
Xander.
and yeah, here we go with Bob.
Yep.
Which yeah, I'm actually very curious about Bob, and I would love Bob to introduce yourself maybe with whatever story you want. This year, this meeting is, like always, I would say, about this full-on aliveness, about this in loveness with what is, about this ordinary, simply just this or whatever. Okay, good. Tell us a little bit about you, if you like.
That's a great definition. I'd never heard that expression, in loveness. I'll use it again. It's beautiful to say it that way.
You've
Well,
never heard it? I
in
can't believe it.
loveness, no,
You've
in
never heard
loveness, no.
it's very, very, I just want to say that it's used very, very often.
It's
And this is totally yeah, it's yeah, in loveness.
so yes, in loveness with what is may happen. And it's always a beautiful experience, and it's always refreshing, always new. Personally, I don't find it very pertinent to introduce myself or to give you my story, to talk about my search, the books I read, the gurus I met, the expectations I had, the disappointments I faced, because it's just a personal story, and in one sense, it doesn't lead to this. I'd say there's no connection other than imagined between Bob or Bob's story, which is somewhat the same thing, and being here, sitting here, looking at my computer screen and talking to you. So I would rather not elaborate on Bob unless you really insist on wanting to know where I
Bob,
come from, what my
Bob,
background.
I really, really insist to just a little bit, just a little bit. This would be great.
That I give you a little more of my history.
Yeah. Like, yeah, this would be
Well,
beautiful.
some 45, 50 years ago, uh, I had a first mystical experience that initiated the search. Oops, I have stuff coming up on my computer. Forgive me,
This
I don't
is
know
cool. No,
how.
it's not a problem. Beautiful sound.
And so that experience initiated. Okay, just a
What
sec.
was it, Bob? What was it in a way? Yeah, check it out. Take your time. No problem. We have time. What was
So
it? I'm curious. You don't have to answer. I'm simply curious. What was
No,
this?
no, if you're curious, I'd love to tell you, it's not an issue. So that initial experience triggered the search. And the search lasted for many years. I came across a number of books, of course, Ramana, Nisargadatta, the classics, which in many cases speak to both our mind and our heart. And in the wake of what I read, I came across a book by Ramesh Balsekar. Are you familiar with him?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Yep.
And which was called Pointers to Nisargadatta. And I was traveling at the time, and I didn't have I'd say my bedstand book with me, which was I Am That. And I was feeling a little gloomy that day, so I decided to go to a bookstore and to, read a little Nisargadatta if I could find one of his books. And as I was
Beautiful.
going through the books, I couldn't find the book I was looking for, but I came across that book by Ramesh Balsekar. I had no idea who the guy was, but the title was Pointers to Nisargadatta Maharaj. So I figured, oh, well, this guy is talking about Nisargadatta. I might as well, have a look. And I was truly moved by what I read. I sat on the floor in the bookstore and just read on and read on and read on, and then I walked out and I bought a telephone card. There were no cell phones at the time. Bought a telephone
What?
card, and I called information in Mumbai and asked for Ramesh Balsekar's number. I didn't know, of course, how many Ramesh Balsekars there were in Mumbai, but I was fortunate because they only gave me one number. I dialed the number and I asked, I said, hi, my name is Bob Trocmé. I'm looking for Ramesh Balsekar, who's a disciple of Nisargadatta. And he said, you have the right, Ramesh. That was the beginning of our conversation.
Perfection. Wow.
Crazy.
So,
Finding Ramesh just first number and you get to Ramesh. This is
yeah,
incredible.
No more, no less, just a magic number.
Yeah.
within he invited me to visit, and within a few
Wow.
months I was in Mumbai in his living room, and it was a beautiful encounter. And basically, what he told me is that the experience I was seeking for, that the fact that I was seeking to renew the experience I had had with the experience I believed I had had, was depriving me of every other experience. And it was very much a revelation at the time that it just clicked. That he said, the experience you had is nothing more than an experience.
Yeah.
No
And so,
specialness.
right, no specialness. So the specialness was very much imagined. And
Yeah.
that was a revelation. And that was the beginning of, I would say, a second phase, which finally brought me to the realization that there never had been a seeker of truth. And
Beautiful.
that there is no seeker of truth but imagined. And
even not that.
and you could say, and even not that, but that's a very brief account of my story.
No, of course. Just a beautiful
So,
story. Please continue.
so it was a disappointment there when it was discovered?
Well, there was a bit of both, because where there is elation, excessive elation, there will be disappointment. And where there is disappointment, it's likely that you will be elated once again. So these contrasting states, which are all imagined in self-representation, is the person who knows, the person who understands, the person who experiences, or the person who doesn't know, the person who falls out of grace, the person who hopes to experience what he has or she has experienced again. The mind of the seeker lives in permanent contrasts between what is found and lost. And anything that you believe you have found, you are likely to lose.
Lose. And there is the longing
And
also
anything you have
for it.
lost, you're likely to want to find again. And on the cycle of seeking goes until finally the seeking ends. But then you may, this perhaps is important, you may imagine that the seeking ends for someone and that someone would be liberated from seeking. But that's not the way it happened at all. There never was a seeker of truth, and therefore there is no one left who would be liberated of seeking. There's not someone who was a seeker and then who finally is not a seeker. That would mean that there really was a seeker of truth. And then that the seeking ended for that seeker. That is not what that would be an experience. That would be, again, a sudden realization of something that you can hold on to, of something that belongs to you. And that is not the way I see it today.
So Bob, what happened after it stopped seeking? What was left there?
Nothing in particular, nothing new. Nothing new.
Nothing was lost, right?
If something was left, it would have to be left for someone who could hold it, for someone who could own it. So I wouldn't say that something is left, or you could say that what is left is what has always been there. That's why I say nothing new.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Which is why I also insist that in loveness is beautiful, but it's also a state. It's also an experience. And it comes and goes. You're not always in love with what is. Sometimes it's beautiful and there is this sudden realization. And sometimes you're just frying eggs or taking a shower.
Whatever comes up.
It's unavoidable.
Unavoidable. Beautiful. Inescapable.
There's no one who could escape.
Yes.
There's no one separate from it. There's no one experiencing it, finding it, losing it.
Not two.
Other than imagined. Because the losing it, the finding it is not excluded either.
So the seeking was not by someone, or it was not someone was seeking. It was just also is an happening seeking. Something that was, it's also like in a apparent something that was seeking. It was not seeking for no one. It was just seeking.
The seeking happens because you sense that something is missing. And you can only sense that something is missing if you believe that you have somehow experienced it or that you've come close to experiencing it. And that whole process is imagined.
By no one.
Well, you could say by no one, but then who is no one? No one is no one. So it's a little problematic to use no one too often, because many people believe that you were someone and that freedom would be to become no one. No one becomes no one. So I'm very cautious when I use by no one. I know that in radical circles it's often used, and I have no issue with what radical speakers say. Actually, I very much enjoy a lot of what some of them say, particularly Andreas Müller, who I really like. Find him extremely clear.
I love him too. He's beautiful.
Yeah, you're fond of him too. Yeah, many people are. He's very, very, very clear and very open and very humble.
Yeah.
Expression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I enjoy. But the expression for no one is a little problematic, I find.
Because it can be object, it can be an object. There is
it may suggest that it only appears for someone who becomes no one.
Right.
And of course, someone becoming no one is
it's something.
Itself.
Yeah.
If there is no one, there is not someone.
It was some. Yeah.
So that's why I have a little bit of an issue with that expression sometimes.
Here it felt like just if you can take balls, like if it's something like it's just coming, going, no location, spatial location. It's just like whatever appears. This is there's no feeling of a spatial location now as identity, saying I'm here and there is out there, and there is a separation between here and there. This idea of me being here, it's like gone. So even if I say I, it's not important even if I say I or not, because it's just words coming up, from here to there. And there is no feeling of the difference between what's happening, and even the opinion can come up. So it's coming, going. So how you can describe there is no someone, the only thing I can say was that there was, if you can say before, a feeling of location, someone with opinion that saw the world and the world came back to him. It was like ping pong with something, and now there is just like go, and there's no this ping pong. I eat over there, it confirm I'm here. There's no confirmation anymore.
This meaning and being. You mean this meaning and being?
No, I don't relate for the meaning and being.
Yeah.
I just relate to the idea that was a identity. It was identity was here of being the place of reference to the world.
The position.
Position, exactly. It's ideas, very firm ideas about the world and how this should be and how the world should look. And if it was not confirmed, so there was the separation, feeling of separation, because it needed to be confirmed all the time. And always something was wrong, because it could not confirm. So it was the longing for, this wholeness, that it will be confirmed, be whole. And when this idea was dissolved, that there is no really special position, there is opinions, but it's not my own by anything. There is everything, but they are not firm, there's no landing place. So then everything is like, there's no, there's no
Not
reference,
true.
point of reference, not true, yeah.
Yeah. No separation, you can say. There is already no one who is separate from this, whatever this is.
And this is where the in-loveness comes, because it's this maybe the separation was this illusion of separation was so strong. So when it dissolved, there is like, it feels like there's no really landing place or reference place. So there is this relaxation, and there is like everything is there, like this. Ooh.
It sounds a bit like an acceptance with what is, even if it's
No, no, it's not even acceptance. It's just like so normal. So like, yeah,
mm,
everything,
mm. Yeah, it's what it is.
everything. Yeah. How is it for you, Bob?
Well, of course, if you say, I am here, it makes sense. If you have arrived into the apartment where you're expected and you're on your phone and the person says, where are you? And you answer, I am here. When when will you be arriving? Well, tomorrow, 8:30 p.m., Pointe Airport, flight such and such and so being here or going there, or even saying I'm here now makes sense in the relative context
Just in relativity. Yeah,
of,
exactly.
of,
Just for
of
a
relative
position.
separation.
Yeah,
Obviously, if you're in the bathroom, you're not in the kitchen.
exactly.
And if you will be there tomorrow, well, you're not going to be there yesterday or today. And so all these expressions make sense. And for some
As a
reason,
position. Yeah.
yes, for some reason, these relative positions uh, are projected, so to speak, in an area where they have no relevance at all. And that's what seeking is. Seeking is imagining that there's somewhere else where it will be more real, uh, that truth is something that will happen to me, and truth is something that will liberate me, and truth is something that I can experience or something that I can understand.
We can also
Uh,
say, maybe, sorry, Bob, for interrupting,
no,
me
go right
is the
ahead.
seeking. Me is the seeking directly already.
Yes, you could say that too.
But
So
there is it's like time, it's exactly like time, because I can say it's like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock as a reference in the day that we can find ourselves. But the notion of time is something else. It's more, it's not a location enough, because the notion of time is perception. And when this is stops, so I can still use 1, 2, 3, 4, but as just say, giving some certain position in the day, but it's something much more than just numbers. When it's felt like it's real, when it's time and it's real, and you feel really time as a perception of distance in distance.
yes, time implies comparison. Time and space imply comparison. They imply difference. So they imply someone who is comparing and someone who is measuring. And it serves a purpose when comparing is useful. I'm repeating a bit of the same thing I was saying
Yeah.
before. Timelessness itself is also a produce of comparison. It's the idea that there's something that cannot be compared. And there again, the idea that something cannot be compared is also born from comparison. You would not say timelessness if you were not comparing it with time. So anything we say, any position we take, including no position as a position, is imagined.
So, as I can see it, before time, it was a notion that was learned in a way because it felt real. Like there is physical feeling, perception of there is, 1 o'clock, 1 to 8. It felt like, a distance. Really energy. I don't know if you can say it. It's not, it's just imagination, perception, but it felt as solid. 1 to 8 felt solid as imagination, as a distance. Before, when it was somebody as a position, imagine himself as also, it's not position of the body, it's imagined, very solid, that something is here. It's it's funny how imagination can be very solid in a way. It's so it was really felt sense, because it's a felt sense, because my body, yes, it's here. I don't know, it's positioned here physically, I can see it, but it was a felt sense that something is here as a solid position. I don't like to use it energy. I don't like to use so much energy, energy, but it was felt sense of something. So when, yep.
The point I was trying to make is that if time is imagined, so is timelessness. The absence,
I don't know. Yeah.
The absence of time is also imagined. That's the point I was trying to make.
So it's left not time and not timeless. It's just whatever. Now, I mean, like it's like boom. It's just whatever comes up. So there's no thinking about time anymore as a distance. It's just whatever appears. This is why now I have it's like much more than before, no notion of time, because the solidity of time just disappeared, because there's no giving more importance to these hours. We grew up with this cutting all the time, the day, the time, the activities. So when this is like, yeah.
May I be a little provocative?
Yes.
Of course, boom out, Bob.
Nothing appears. To whom would it appear?
To nobody.
You're not
to
there.
Nobody.
And
Yeah.
something appears to you. Nothing has ever appeared to anyone. And there's no way we can grasp it. And yet it is unavoidable. Because if you say that it is ungraspable, then you're comparing it to something that can be grasped. So it is unavoidable and ungraspable at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Empty fullness.
Empty fullness and everything else.
Because now we're talking, we're talking together. We're talking together, and it's gonna be done. And then never, where is it? Now where is it? What's happening here? There is interaction, there is talking. No location. We can say, yeah, I'm here, you're there, Rosa is there, but no, what is it?
Any way we look at it and anything we say about it is both true and untrue.
While listening, sorry, Bob, I interrupt again. While listening to this, here pops up like, well, maybe I really cannot